TII Item 409, October 9th, 2016, iOS 10.1, Beta 2.
Welcome to Today in iPhone.
I like it a lot.
Today in iPhone.
Hey, Google!
Oh, yeah.
My beautiful iPhone, which I never have out of my hand and that I do everything with and has become an extension of whom I am.
Today's episode is sponsored by Harry's. Go to harrys.com right now and enter code TII at checkout to claim your free trial set and free post-shave balm. That's harrys.com and enter coupon code TII. This episode is sponsored by Boll & Branch. Go right now to bollandbranch.com and use promo code TII to get $50 off the nicest sheets and cotton products you've ever owned. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and this is the Today in iOS podcast. First up, I want to thank Aaron for sending in the music here in the background. Aaron wrote, "Hey Rob, longtime listener and emailer, first-time art contributor. This song is called Atomic that I wrote for a YouTube commercial for my wife's tattoo shop here on Maui. I started out with a ukulele idea and recorded the demo on the stock Music Memos app, just using the external microphone on my iPhone 6S, then added on the modern kit and electric bass. I then took it into Garageband on my Mac Pro via the Share and iTunes and Garageband options in the Music Memos, added many layers and tracks, including waves, synth, horns, percussions, and more, much more realistic sounding drums using TuneTrack Easy Drummer 2. I hope you and the listeners enjoy some island sounds. Aloha, Aaron McVeigh." Well, thanks, Aaron, for the music. And folks, I'll put the full song at the end of the episode. I also want to thank Bruce for sending in the artwork for today's show. Bruce wrote the following. "Hi, Rob. Here is a shot I took using the portrait bokeh mode on my iPhone 7 Plus running iOS 10.1 Beta 1. Did some light editing and added in the text using Snapseed. Thanks for everything, Rob. Love the show. Regards, Bruce W." Well, thanks, Bruce, for sending in the artwork for today's show. And folks, you can see Bruce's artwork in the free tier app via the bonus button for episode 409 or at instagram.com/todayios and also as a standalone post in the VIP section and at facebook.com/todayios. If you have some artwork and or music you have created on your iOS device that you would like to share with the audience, please email to me at todayios@gmail.com. Please make sure to include which app or apps you use to create said artwork and or music. In this segment of How Wrong Were They, we have the following quote. Quote, "Apple has just one product. We have a portfolio. One size doesn't fit all." Unquote. Jim Balsillie, very former co-CEO, Research in Motion, June 2012. What good is having a portfolio of products when all the products would be the equivalent of a 1970s leisure shoot? Versus, say, the Apple iPhone, which is the equivalent of Levi's 501 button-fly jeans. Always a classic and in style. This week we have promo codes for the app Let's Pick It. Here is the written review from the dev. "Hi Rob, I wanted to promote my first app. It's called Let's Pick It, and it just got approved on the App Store. It is a productivity app to help indecisive people pick things. The main feature of this app is called Ask Some Friends. It allows you to create an online poll with your list of choices, which you can then share with anyone in the world and let them vote for you. Here are 10 promo codes for the app. Regards, Kenny D." Well, thanks, Kenny D, for your review of your app, Let's Pick It, and for sending in the 10 promo codes to give away. Folks, if you'd like a chance for a promo code for this app, send an email to todayios@gmail.com and put PICK in the subject line. A quick reminder, if you are an app dev or an iBook author, email me if you want your app or iBook featured in the promo giveaway segment for free. We just need 5 promo codes or more to give away. Simply email me at todayios@gmail.com. Please include a 60-second or less audio review of your app or iBook indicating you are the dev or author. Also, when you send in the promo codes, please make sure to let me know when they expire. iOS 10.1 Beta 2 was released last week. Of course, it fixes some bugs from iOS 10 Beta 1. Now, of those fixes, one of them had to do with notifications on the lock screen not taking you where you're supposed to go once you tapped on it. That has fixed. There's obviously other bug fixes in there. The iMessages app drawer was redesigned for those Power iMessage app users. So if you had a lot of different apps in your iMessages, it was kind of difficult to get through them. Now it's a little bit easier. Under Settings, General Accessibility, Reduce Motion, there is a new setting to allow you to turn on message animations. And there is now a replay button under iMessage animations to, let you replay those animations. Something new or actually returning with Beta 2 is a message warning you get if an app is a 32-bit app. Essentially, if you have an old app installed that is of the 32-bit variety versus the new required and wanted by Apple 64-bit version, then you get a warning, as the 32-bit versions can greatly impact battery life and or performance. If you were using iOS 10.1 Beta 1, you would be advised to update to Beta 2. If you have not tried out 10.1 Beta yet and are wondering if it's for you, one simple question, well, actually two. Do you have an iPhone 7 Plus and are you a dev? If you answer to those questions no and no, then stick with 10.0.2 for now. If you do have a 7 Plus or are a dev, then sure, update to Beta 2 of 10.1. With the caveat for the non-devs, don't update if you don't like when things aren't perfect. Beta equals bugs. Into the email bag. Hi Rob, is there an app where I can take a screenshot of a song playing with one hand? I missed that about my 4S. Regards, my car. Hi Mike. Better than an app, there is a way to set up your iPhone to do easy one-handed screenshots. I have mine set this way. Go to Settings, General, Accessibility, Assistive Touch, Customize top-level menu. Then tap on an icon to change one and select Screenshot. You'll see the list of options. Select Screenshot. Then remove all the other icons. It is really important to remove all the other icons so that you have just one and it is labeled Screenshot. Then go to Settings, General Accessibility, Accessibility Shortcut, and then select Assistive Touch. Exit the Setting app and then triple tap the Home button. You will then see a virtual button on the screen. Move it to just above the Home button. Now, when you need to take a screenshot, triple tap the Home button and then tap the virtual button and it will take the screenshot for you. I love this feature as it allows me to do quick screenshots when I am doing tutorials, as a virtual button stays on until you actually triple tap again. So if you know you're going to be doing a lot of screenshots and for some tutorial, whatever it is that you have to do, just triple tap it and there it is, ready to go whenever you need it. Once again, to set this up, go to Settings, General, Accessibility, Assistive Touch, Customize top-level menu, then tap on the icon to change one and select it to Screenshot, then remove all the other icons. It's really important to remove all the others, so you just have the one and it is Screenshot. Then go to Settings, General, Accessibility, Accessibility Shortcut, and select Assistive Touch. Thanks to Dr. John for this next one. Apple Pay is now available in 10 countries around the world as Russia joined the Apple Pay Club. The 10 countries Apple Pay is available in include the United States, United Kingdom, China, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, Hong Kong, France, Singapore, and now Russia. In Russia, participating retailers include ATAC, Magnet, Media Market, Akun, Azabuku, Vakusa, BP, M.Video, Tasum, and authorized Apple reseller restores. Contactless payments are expected to roll out at electronic stores El Dorado and then also Burger King in the near future. Per the banks supporting Apple Pay, it is supported via MasterCard and through Moscow Bank, Serb Bank. So Moscow-based Serb Bank is SBER Bank. That's the one that is only, it seems to be the only one supporting it in Russia right now, as near as I can tell from the press release, but it was hard to convert it all from Russian to English. Congrats to those of you in Russia that this impacts. Next up is likely New Zealand based on Apple's comments at the last keynote. Come November, I will be at Microsoft Connect in New York City. If you are going, please let me know. I'll be interviewing folks from Microsoft team again and hope to get a few other interviews in, conversations with devs while there. So please let me know if you will be there so we can set up a time to talk. For those not in the know, MS Connect will be on November 16th and 17th in New York City, and this is a developer-focused event. For those devs not going, you should watch or listen to the live streams. If you go to aka.ms.todayinios, You can watch the live broadcast, which starts November 16th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and then continues with interactive Q&A and immersive on-demand content through November 17th. Again, if you're going, email me todayinios@gmail.com so we can set up a meeting on the 16th. I'll only be there on the 16th, and I think I'll be there the 15th before as well. But let's set something up for the 16th if you're going to MS Connect. If you're a dev and you're not going, as a minimum, you should watch the live streams. Microsoft, thanks again for inviting me out to one of your events. Apple, are you listening?
Hey there, Rob. Woody from New Jersey calling in to answer Schmitty's question. And I have to say, it's not entirely clear whether or not he was just looking to solve the issue with Apple Maps needing CarPlay to mark his location or whether he wanted to stream audio. So let's take them one at a time. If he's just trying to mark his location, I don't know a solution because I don't know of any CarPlay-friendly aftermarket adapters that are not expensive. But I do know that if you use the free Waze app from Google, it does a great job of navigation, routes you around traffic, tells you where the police are. I love it. Use it every day. That will also tell you where you parked your car. You can shut down the app so you don't burn through battery. When you open it back up, it'll show you where you parked and give you directions and an ETA on foot to get back to your car. So that solves the parking problem, I hope. Then if the issue is that he wants to listen to audio wirelessly in his car, there are some pretty cheap alternatives out there that have come on the market. I must give you a disclaimer. I've not tried them, but they're pretty low risk. And so you go to Amazon and go look for MPOW Bluetooth receiver. That's M like Mary, POW Bluetooth receiver. It's $16.99 and has like 4,800 reviews. You just plug it into the aux jack and connect your phone to it through Bluetooth, and then it'll pump the audio right into the aux jack. So that's worth a shot if you have an aux jack. If you don't have an aux jack, then there's something called the Nulaxy Wireless Bluetooth FM transmitter. That's N like Nancy, ULAXY Wireless Bluetooth FM transmitter. That is only $22.99 and has like 90 reviews and pretty low risk if you ask me. So those are my solutions. Hope it helps. Have a great day. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to the next episode.
Woody, thank you for that feedback. Into the email bag. Hi, Rob. With respect to Smitty's question, you have to be connected to Bluetooth for the Maps feature to remember where you parked to work in its current state. What I use is the Bluetooth adapter from Anker SoundSync Drive Bluetooth car receiver. Anker SoundSync Drive Bluetooth 4.0 car receiver. And the things that make it good is that it's small, the audio quality is really good, and the price is right. It's just $22 on Amazon. I do recommend purchasing a ground loop isolator. This will remove annoying interference from the engine. The one I am currently using is the MPOW. It's $9 on Amazon and works well with the Anker device. I was previously using a different isolator, but as I found out, if the two devices don't play nice, you can hear the low-end frequencies removed completely from your speakers, which isn't good. Hope this helps. Love the show. Regards, Jim. Thanks, Jim. And in the email bag, hi, Rob. Here is an item I purchased, the Nanda Zeus, Z-U-S, smart car charger with car finder device/cigarette lighter charger with free Zeus app. It charges the iPhones 7, 7 Plus, iPhones, iPads, and more. And when you turn off your car and power goes off the charger cigarette lighter unit, it marks your car's spot on your phone so you can get back to the car later. Using their app, it will ask you with a notification if you would like to mark the parking spot. Here is the name and Amazon link where I bought it. Regards, David Dick from Springfield, Mo. Well, David, thank you for the heads up on the Zeus. They actually sent it to me to test out, and once I have my 7 Plus set up, I will be testing it out to see how well it works. I will talk about the Zeus on a future episode. However, this week, I can't seem to do a soft reboot of my iPhone 7 Plus. Have you had any other feedback on this issue? I've tried all the home button types, no luck. Regards, Laura B. in Salina, Texas. Well, Laura, yes, I have had some other feedback. Here's one of them.
Hey, Rob. Scott from Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill. Oh, Rob, I've noticed since I've had this iPhone 7 and this new non-mechanical button, I haven't been able to do a hard reset. I just throw that out to the audience. If anyone's had difficulty doing a hard reset. Every time I hold this home button and the power button at the same time, it's taking a screenshot. I've done it, let's see, 132 times, and all I've gotten from it is screenshots. Can't seem to push the phone into a hard reset. Done it on every one of my devices for the last, I guess, umpteen years. And on this new button, I can't seem to hold it with the right amount of pressure and hold the power with the right amount of pressure. And all I'm getting is screenshots. All right, so if it's a new way or anything, let me know. And if not, throw it out to the audience and see if that's a glitch or if I'm having an issue with my phone. I can't seem to do a hard reset. Thanks. Out from DC. Thanks, Rob.
Well, Scott and Laura and many others that have asked on the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus to do a forced reboot, a hard reset, press and hold at the same time the sleep wake button and the volume down button for at least 10 seconds. This is the same as pressing and holding the sleep wake button and the home button on the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus and earlier versions. So again, on the 7, 7 Plus, you're going to hold the wake sleep button and you're going to hold the volume down button at the same time for 10 seconds to do the forced reboot.
Hey, Rob. Jeff in Connecticut. Just calling in. Happy to be listening to your latest podcast and view my opinion of the iPhone 7 Plus. Ordered it on pre-order day and got it on the launch day and love it. Everything's working well. The camera is amazing. Happen to be running the public beta 10.1. And the bokeh or however you say that, is fantastic. It makes the pictures really pop, and it really looks very DSLR-like. So that's a positive. iOS 10 runs pretty well. I had the beta over the summer and really enjoyed it. And thank God they're doing something with HomeKit. I spent a lot of money in my home and building it out, and HomeKit is now quite usable. And the app built in works very nicely, and functionality is all good. Wish Siri worked similar on the Mac as it did on the phone. It'd be great to be able to sit at my computer, and if somebody knocks on my door, if I want to unlock the door, I just hit Siri on my Mac and unlock the door, but that is not the case. Still can't figure out why that's like that, but maybe that's for another show. Anyways, so all is well so far, and again, appreciate the show as always. Thanks, Rob.
Jeff, thanks for your feedback. I mentioned in August that Harry's has a new Gen 2 blade. As I said, they took the best razor and made it the bestest razor I've ever used. Well, Harry's has a brand new offer for you. Harry's is so confident in the quality of their blades, they'll send you their popular free trial set, which comes with a razor, 5-blade cartridge, and shaving gel, free when you sign up for a shave plan. You just pay for shipping. Plus, there's an additional special offer for you great folks. All you have to do is enter TII at checkout to get a free post-shave balm added to your order. And their post-shave balm is incredible. It soothes, it moisturizes, and best of all, my wife says it makes me smell so very, very good. And yes, having your significant other liking how you smell is a good thing. Per their Gen 2 blade, it is still the great 5-blade razor, but they made some improvements. It is more flexible for better control and more comfortable shaving. They added a 6-blade at the top for trimming hard-to-reach spots, and they still, of course, have the lubricating strip. I don't just shave my face. If you've met me, you know I shave my whole head. And before Harry's, I traded a lot of different blades, all the expensive 4 and 5 blades ones out there. And the Gen 1 razor was better than all of them, and the Gen 2 is better than the Gen 1. Harry's moved the bar, folks. I am 100% a Harry's customer, period. To get the bestest blades, Harry's went out and found a German blade factory that was almost 100 years old and purchased it. Harry's owns the most important part of the razor, the blade, and by cutting out the middleman on both sides, they can keep the prices low to you. Plus, Harry's as an organization helps those looking for jobs by donating 1% of their sales and 1% of their time to prepare people for professional success. Yes, a shave that feels great from a company that you can feel great about. Once again, go to harrys.com right now and enter the code TII at checkout to claim your free trial set and free post-shave balm. You just pay shipping. That's harrys.com and then enter coupon code TII and start shaving better. We are now well over 3,500 members in our Google Plus community and growing. And thanks to everyone that has joined, and thanks for the great posts. And one of the things I always do is I always pin the most recent episode of TII at the top of the Google Plus community. And last episode, there was quite a few pieces of feedback, so let me get into some of those. From Myron Euchre, quote, I find it interesting that not long ago, Apple was suing people for infringing on their slide to unlock patent. Now they've abandoned it. Hey, Rob Walsh, glad to hear you got shipping confirmation or notification. I got mine as well, and UPS is scheduled to deliver it Thursday. I'm looking forward to trying out the new dual camera and plan to register it for the beta on Thursday as well, unquote. That's from Myron. Thank you, Myron. From Stan Bentley, quote, hey, Myron Euchre, I really don't like this new quote-unquote feature. iOS 9, I woke the device by pressing the home button key and then just held my thumb, and after the key released to unlock via Touch ID, now I have to press the home button twice. Is there another technique, unquote? And Francisco Tapia replied to Stan Bentley saying, go to accessibility, then enable the rest finger to open under the home button option, unquote. Stan Bentley then replied back to Francis Tapia, the world is right again. Thank you. Francisco Tapia also said to Stan Bentley, once you start using the iPhone 7, 7 Plus, it's not a bad setup process down to press down a second time. But for the button devices, iPhone 5S, 6, SE, and the rest finger to unlock should be the default, unquote. And then from Karthik M, quote, this is the perfect example of hardware-software integration, Apple changing the unlock gesture based on hardware compatibility. And wow, I didn't know Bluetooth had anything to do with parked car location, but it makes sense, unquote. And thanks to all. And folks, please do go to todayinios.com/community if you want to leave comments about the latest episode, this one, episode 409, or participate in the best Google Plus community on the iPhone with over 3,500 members and no Google fanboys. Apple announced that their next quarterly conference call will be Tuesday, October 25th at 4 p.m. Central Time. It will be interesting to see what is said on that call, but really anything with regards to new iPhones sold for the week plus in the last quarter that the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus had availability will be more a measure of supply logistics and not demand. It is the current quarter's shipments that will be scrutinized over and over and over, and that's not going to happen until January when Apple does that conference call. But any hints of guidance for the current quarter will also be heavily vetted in the next couple of weeks, or a couple of weeks after the announcement, that is, because people are going to see, is Apple trending up? How do they project versus last year? So it'll be a lot to go over, but it'll be next January when we're really going to know how well the iPhone 7 did or did not do. It does not look at this point like there will be another fall event for Apple, and that means the iPads we have now and the Apple TV and the iPod Touch, that is what we are going into the Christmas shopping season with. Rumors around next-gen iPads have fallen off the cliff in the last week or two, and now the rumor is pointing just to some spring event possible to announce next-gen iPads, which is fine by me. Get the iPad updates on the opposite side of the calendar from the iPhone updates. That means a lot more to talk about in the first quarter other than how iPhone sales went in the previous quarter, which is the way it's been the last couple years. In some bad news for iPhone 7 owners versus Android equivalent phones, the iPhone 7 came in as worst in its class for battery life. I mean, sure, it was faster, twice as fast as some, and for some tasks, that is. So maybe since it takes less time to do things with the iPhone 7, it all washes out in the end. Well, except for the part about phone calls. The iPhone 7 lasted 712 minutes compared to 1,492 for the Samsung Galaxy S7, 1,579 minutes for the LG G5, and 1,859 minutes for the HTC 10, over twice what the iPhone 7 did. Web browsing was closer, though. iPhone 7 lasted 615 minutes. The LG G5 lasted 640. The Samsung S7 lasted for 677. And the HTC 10 came out at top again at 790 minutes for battery life. They did say that the HTC 10 has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery versus the 1,960 milliamp hour battery for the iPhone 7. So Apple on the web browsing side definitely gets more life per milliamp hour. But if you're looking to go all day and all night long, you will likely be looking for an external battery pack for the iPhone 7, just like you did for the iPhone 6S and the 6 before it.
It's Holly from Arizona. I just wanted to share my iPhone 7 story. So I didn't order it on when it was pre-ordered. I wanted to wait because I wasn't sure if I wanted it. Plus, I had just bought a MacBook Pro. A couple weeks after launch date, I ordered an iPhone 7, jet black, 128 gig. And it said 3 to 5 weeks for shipping. So I waited, and I said, okay, that's fine. And today, I woke up, October 2nd, and looked at my phone and just out of curiosity checked the Apple app. I was just curious, how backed up are they now? Has my date changed or is anything different? And I saw it said available to pick up in store today. I was like, what? So I canceled my order and I immediately bought a new one, picked it up, and now have an iPhone 7 jet black. Just thought I would share my story. So for anyone who's waiting on one, maybe keep checking your stores because they will get a shipment. Thanks, Rob. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey Rob, it's Holly from Arizona again. I just wanted to do like a little update. I did get my iPhone 7 jet black yesterday. I love the color. I don't regret not getting the matte. I love it. I do have a case on it and will probably always have a case on it. I don't miss the Plus at all. At first, after 2 years of using the Plus, at first I felt like I was going to go blind and my eyes were hurting, but my hands, they just felt like relief and comfortable. And I do miss the screen size. I miss the size of the screen when watching Netflix or YouTube or doing anything that involves a picture, even texting. But it's worth it for the comfortability and the portability of this phone. I think it suits my lifestyle much better, and I'm happy with it. Yeah. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Holly, great to hear back from you, and thanks for your feedback. Interesting article from Johnny Evans titled Apple on Track for Next Era in Personal Technology. This is based on comments from UBS analysts Stephen, don't call me Milanovic, and Benjamin, no witty middle name yet, Wilson. They say investors and others are missing the point with what Apple is rolling out product-wise. Many are mocking Apple for their AirPods. And when people mock Apple's product, it is probably a good bet they just are clueless. Milanovic and Wilson say the point is iPhones don't matter anymore. And what does matter is for Apple to lay a bedrock of multi-devices infinitely connected. Quote, we consider the Apple Watch and AirPods transition products today on the way to an integrated user experience based on multiple products seamlessly connected. We call it the ambient paradigm. It is Tim Cook's iOS everywhere, unquote, according to the analysts. Essentially, it allows you to do what you want when you want with the right devices at the right time, seamlessly switching between devices. There is the connected world you hear about all the time, and then what Apple is trying to create, which is the seamlessly interconnected world. Will be interesting to see how this all plays out, but yes, the AirPods are supposed to be able to switch between devices pretty easily. We'll see how that works come November when they start shipping them. They'll start shipping them in mass, that is. I think they said end of October is when they're actually going to be available, but it'll probably be November before any of us get them.
Hey, Rob, this is Matt from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I just wanted to give a few thoughts on the general design direction of the iOS phones, Apple phones. First, like last year when I went and bought my iPhone 6S, I had never held the new phones, the 6 to 6S platform. And I proceeded to drop the demo models 3 times in about 2 minutes. I just found the design a little clunky for my clumsy fingers. I appreciate the flat sides that were on the 4S and the 5S that I had. So that took some getting used to. I had to make sure I get it into a good case. And the first time I was outdoors and transferred my phone from my case to the onboard case on my bike, I was transferring and moving it at all of 2 feet. I dropped it and shattered the screen the very first time I dropped it without protection. So that was a bad experience, although I did have the Apple Care, which made replacements less painless than it could have been. I had it for several months. I really love the performance of the phone. I've often said that the phone is the fastest computer I've ever owned, my iPhone 6S. But we went on a family vacation to Amsterdam in May of 2016, and there's an iconic sign there that spells out Amsterdam, kind of similar to the Hollywood sign. and a fella just came out of the blue and handed me his iPhone 6S and asked me to take his photograph in front of the sign, and his phone was totally naked, no screen protector, no case, and I went to raise the phone to take a picture of him, and I dropped it. Miraculously, I caught the phone about a foot before it hit the pavement. So the design does not agree with me at all. So, but anyway, I did appreciate the 5S design. I like the flat sides to the phone. It gives it a solid feel when you're holding it. Also, I've noticed that with the rounded edges on the 6S, I tend to curl my fingers over the phone, which can cause inadvertent touches to the screen and then cause inadvertent results. And so I would love to see the phone designs return to the flat side, more square profile. And I think that would provide more battery space too, because as everybody says, no matter how good they make the battery life and how many improvements there are, it's never enough. So I'd love to see iPhone 7 Plus, 6S Plus, that kind of battery life in the 7 and 6S models. I don't know if we'll have that. But anyway, I just wanted to give my opinion on that. Thanks for your show. I really appreciate it. Look forward to it every week.
Matt, thanks for your feedback. Switching gears. What was mostly dead, now even Miracle Max cannot save. And I am talking about the third generation Apple TV. Apple has officially killed it off. And this is a shocker to pretty much no one. If for some reason you want a third-gen Apple TV, you can probably pick one up for less than the $69 retail price it used to be available for at apple.com. You might want to check a Best Buy or some of the other stores that were selling it. Probably a good chance that you're going to see some clearance pricing to get rid of them out of their inventory ASAP. Many may not realize or remember that Siri was something Apple acquired. Well, the basic tech for it. Apple paid $200 million for Siri Inc. back in 2010, April 2010. And when they purchased that company, the founders stuck around for a very short time. It looks like they had just gone off, party, or change the world, or who knows what. But in May, things changed a little because the original Siri's creator, that would be Dag Kitalslis and Adam Chayar, they introduced Viv, which was probably just right after their non-compete expired with Apple. And Viv seems to have been the next generation of Siri with more advanced natural language processing skills and more of which we're not really ever going to get to know anything about because Samsung swooped in and purchased them. You would have thought Apple would have put in a right of first refusal clause for any future venture. Shame on you, Apple. Or good for you, Apple, depending on what you think of Siri. Anyway, their tech is going to Sammy. Or put another way, so yes, Sammy even copies Apple in acquiring a company started by the same guys Apple acquired a company from. Is there no limit to Sammy's level of copying? Into the email bag. Hi, Rob. I feel badly dissing on Samsung during the latest fiasco. Well, now that I think of it, I don't feel badly at all. Does that make me a bad person? I hope not. I'm just an Apple lover. Regards, Steve from Arizona. Nope, Steve, that doesn't make you a bad person. Nor does it make the other dozen plus people that emailed me on this a bad people either. And where there is smoke, there is fire. And where there is fire, there is likely a Samsung Note 7 as the source. I really was going to ignore the Note 7 reports because, been there, done that, and did it again. But the story changed a little bit. To the email bag. Hey, Rob, the last line in this report is the best. Regards, Mike B. And this from an article titled, Replacement Samsung Galaxy Note 7 Phone Catches Fire on the Southwest Airplane. Yes, you heard that right. A replacement Note 7 smoked and burned on a plane. I even hear Samuel Jackson is working on a new horror movie sequel. It's called Note 7 on a Plane. Here's a short trailer from that upcoming movie.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these mother on this mother plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some windows.
In this report, they checked the IMEI number on the phone that burned in the plane. And on Sammy's recall eligibility checker, what they came back was, great news, that Note 7 is not affected by the recall. The phone was even purchased on September 21st and had a black box on the label that is supposed to mean that it is fine. Per Mike's comments about the end of the article, quote, Green's Note 7 is in the hands of the Louisville Fire Department's arson unit for investigation, and the U.S. Consumer Product Commission is opening an investigation into the incident. He has already replaced it with an iPhone 7, unquote. And if that was the end of the story, or the only one, I might have let it go. But there is another article many of you sent in, titled, Samsung knew a third replacement Note 7 caught fire on Tuesday and said nothing. In the past week, 3 different Note 7s, all of which were supposed to be Note 7s that were not affected by the recall or supposed to be replacement units, they caught fire. And those are the ones we know of. And right now, you know who the only one it sucks to me more than Sammy is? Someone that owns a Note 7. My recommendation is for anyone listening that owns a Note 7, or more realistically knows of someone that owns a Note 7, tell them to return it. This device is seriously dangerous. It's not a manufacturing issue at this point. It is a design issue, or at least it sure looks that way. The whole Note 7 line, and mark my words on this, will be recalled and scuttled. They tried to take 10 pounds of sausage and stuff it in a 5-pound casing. And they just tried to do too much with the battery. It's too dense, and the issue will keep coming up over and over with the Note 7 until the battery is completely redesigned into a lower density battery. But seriously, if you own one, return it, turn it off, take it back ASAP. If you know someone that owns it, tell them, plead with them to return it. It is really just a matter of if, not when, someone is going to be killed by one of these phones. That might sound dire, and yes, it is. As an add-on, after I wrote these notes, I noticed this. AT&T just announced they are halting all sales of the Note 7. Expect all others to follow suit this week. I mentioned last year and last month about PIDS, PIDS, that stands for Post-iPhone Delivery Syndrome, and many of you are suffering from PIDS. And by suffering, I mean your significant other is letting you know that they need some attention and are feeling a little jealous of your new shiny Apple device. Folks, we have a sponsor that can help defeat PIDS, and that is Boll & Branch. How does Boll & Branch help you defeat PIDS? By allowing you to buy luxury sheets at an affordable price and a package your significant other will love and feel appreciated with when you gift it to them. Like I said a year ago, do something to let them know you still care, and this is that something. The sheets from Boll & Branch are made from 100% organic cotton, not because organic cotton is some sort of buzzword, but because organic cotton is incredibly soft. And these sheets get softer each time you wash them. We've had ours for over a year now, and they are incredibly and really soft. You'll get the nicest sheets you've ever owned for about half the price of what stores and boutiques would be charging for sheets of far lower quality. I really could not believe how excited my wife was to get these sheets, and the box they came in, and the individual pouches for the sheets and pillowcases. Well, the presentation is very Apple-esque. Get $50 off your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com using promo code TII. Again, that's bollandbranch.com, promo code TII. These sheets are only sold online at bollandbranch.com. You can't buy them in any stores. That's how they keep the pricing low and for your markups. But here's the best part. Don't take my word for it. Try them out for yourself. 30 days, risk-free. Boll & Branch is so sure you're going to love their sheets that they'll give you 30 nights to try them out. If you don't love them for any reason, they'll take them back and refund you without any hassle at all. They also have towels, and the ones I've purchased for my wife are by far the best towels in the house. Plus, they have many other cotton products. Get $50 off your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com and using promo code TII. Go to bollandbranch.com today for $50 off your first set of sheets. That's BOLL and branch.com, promo code TII.
Hey, Rob, this is Terry from Pennsylvania. As far as that slide to unlock, push to unlock, with the fancy new 7 Plus that I got, it don't really matter. I just stick my finger or my thumb, whatever, on the button, and it, boom, automatically unlocks it. So it's not much of an issue with me with the new 7 Plus, or with the new 7, and I would assume also be the same. Bye-bye.
Into the email bag we go. Hi, Rob. I've been anxiously awaiting my Pop Slate 2 after first hearing about it on your podcast, episode 385. Even after they got rejected by Shark Tank investors this past summer, I thought it was an exciting product that I couldn't wait to get my hands on. Unfortunately, I'm now being told that my wait will extend from the original September delivery target to February, if I'm lucky. Here is the email that I got today. It includes a lot of technical information that you and your listeners may find interesting. Best regards, Mark from Boston. Mark, thanks for the heads up on that. And a delay from September to February is not the best thing in the world, but it's not bad. Just ask Levi, who wrote the following. Hey, Rob, just wondering if you have any insight on the Snaps product, ZNAPS. Have you received yours yet? Have you looked into their progress? Love the show. Regards, Levi from Moreno Valley, California. The Snaps have still not shipped. They were originally scheduled to ship November 2015. I think that was 3 different cities ago for Levi. I think you were in Riverside probably when you originally ordered those. And other projects I have backed have not shipped and may never ship. Kickstarter and Indiegogo are an investment in a new product, and many times the delivery dates listed do not happen or come even close. If a product ships within 6 months of its estimated original delivery date, consider that a success. Here's another email on a Kickstarter project. Hi, Rob. I think you also back the Soundband. It's now more than 2 years past the due date, and I can't believe they still pretend they will be shipping this. I really don't believe it anymore. I think very early this year, they sent out an updated saying that they're getting close, and I think people were asked to log in to Kickstarter to confirm their addresses, and then again, 9 months goes by, and now this. Do you actually think this we'll still get this thing? I just wish I could get my money back for this. With the AirPods coming almost ready for release, I think they will be outdated to begin with. Yes, I know this doesn't sit in the ears and all that, but what a joke it was. I'd love to hear your comments regarding this one on the next episode. Regards, Sigurd. Well, Sigurd, I should point out that most of the Kickstarter projects I've backed over the years have shipped. Only the SOS charger was I ever charged for, and I completely canceled and no hope of ever getting that or the money back. The Soundband was one I was kind of putting into that category, and I was willing to write it off as well, so not sure what to think about this other than, wow, okay, so it's still alive. The original ship date on that was supposed to be December 2013, so if they get it out before the end of the year, it would just be 3 years late. Not bad, right? Oof. Again, most shipped close to their schedule or on schedule that I've done. A couple were a little late, and a couple are very late. Kickstarter is not a store. It is a funding environment for startups, and not all startups succeed. Unforeseen issues can happen. That said, when they do succeed, you typically will get a leading edge product or a unique product at a fraction of the retail price. Please, folks, remember that when I talk about Kickstarter and Indiegogo projects, they're investments. They're not sure things. It's not a store. It's an investment opportunity.
Hi, Rob. Conrad here from Honolulu, Hawaii. Aloha. A couple of things. First thing is I purchased the iPhone 7, and I found it being too cumbersome with all of these different headphone jacks to use. Like others, I found out I had to carry about 2 or 3 headsets. One for my MacBook, and one Bluetooth, and one with a new connector. So I ended up returning it because I don't think I'm ready for not having a headset jack yet. Also, Apple really should make a phone that is at least 5 inches across. I find it really hard to believe that they couldn't make the iPhone 7 the size a little larger, because it's like the 3 little bears, one's too small, one's too big, one's just right. Actually, they don't have a just right phone yet, to me. I don't have huge hands. The iPhone 7 Plus is just huge to me. It's just a really huge phone. And iPhone 7 is actually very small screen size compared to all the other phones I think they just made it 5.0 inches. That would have been perfect. And one more thing, Apple really needs to get their stuff together with the Apple Watch. They're just really behind with that. I mean, it's good that it's waterproof. That's fine. But I think the watch should have an embedded SIM card so you can tether it with your iPhone. And people say, oh yeah, I can leave my watch I can leave my phone at home and I can go running with just my watch. Most people aren't going to do that. Most people want to have a phone in case of emergency. So I know that my wife has a Samsung phone, actually the Note, and she has a Samsung watch, and it's able to, AT&T assigns them another number that will ring if your phone is not near you, out of service or something like that or whatever. And I just find that sometimes Apple just really waits too long to get things done.
Hold on, I want to interject here real quick. Just in all fairness to Apple, the Apple Watch outsold all the other smartwatches by a long, long margin. So maybe it's not perfect for you, but understand the Apple Watch kicking the butt out of every other smartwatch out there. So they're doing something right.
Like back to the iPhone 7 again, a 7 Plus, to have a retinal scanner that when my wife picks up her phone, all she has to do is glance at it and it's unlocked. She doesn't even have to touch it. I love Apple products, but they really need to step up a few things. I think they're going to just lose some market share. Well, it's a good thing that the the Note 7 start burning right before the release of the iPhone 7. That was very convenient for Apple. Other than that, I think iPhone users are demanding just a little more. They're not going to make the perfect phone for everybody, but they have the know-how. They can do it. So those are my little pet peeves. I know it's on a little rant, but I'm still an iPhone user because I like all my devices to sync. But yeah, size of the iPhone, 5.0 screen, embedded SIM card, so they don't have to take the...
Well, Kona, for some reason your voicemail message cut off there, but I'll say this. Nope, not going to have a 5.0 screen, not anytime soon, so get used to the 4.7 and the 5.5. Those are the sizes. If they don't work for you, you're going to be waiting a long, long time before you get another size. The 4.7 and 5.5 seem to be that happy space, that just right space for the majority of users. So that seems to be where Apple's settled in on. You're going to have the three sizes you have today with the 4, the 4.7, and the 5.5. And that's pretty much going to be it. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Per the Apple Watch, be careful what you wish for. You get that extra features that you're talking about, the cellular, and not just chew through battery. So I'm glad that Apple Watch 2 didn't have that. It's more about lasting the whole day in a small device. And, you talk about Apple not pushing it, and then your wife having Samsung, and then the Note Fire. The Note Fire didn't happen by accident. The Note Fire happened because Samsung pushed too hard to get too much into too small a package. That's a design issue because they're trying to do too much. They tried to push too hard. They tried to get it launched too soon. That was a lot of happenings there for the things that you were hoping for. And that's what burned Sammy. So I'm happy with Apple just doing it slow and steady wins the race. And, that's what Apple's doing. They're not doing revolutionary changes. They're just doing evolutionary changes. And that means each generation, while maybe it's not the bleeding cutting edge, it is reliable. And it is mass producible. And speaking of Apple being cutting edge, Apple definitely has been getting grief from all quarters about the removal of the headphone jack. Videos popping up on YouTube go down this rabbit hole of conspiracy around Apple wanting to get more fees from the MFI requirements, to others, from all the other manufacturers out there that use their Lightning ports. So really, there are a few options here for the iPhone 7, 7 Plus users. Go wireless on headphones, with Apple's $159 Apple AirPods being the option that Apple obviously wants you to go wireless with. But there are a plethora of wireless options out there. I am testing one of them right now. I'll talk about it once I get the new 7 Plus up and running, which is sitting right here next to me, waiting for me to finish this episode so I can set it up. See how much I love you all? I put this episode ahead of playing with my new iPhone. Option 2, use the Lightning headphones, but lose the option of charging while listening. Or option 3, use the dongle from Apple for your 1/8-inch headphones, but again, lose the option of charging while listening. Or actually, option 4, get a third-party dongle. And thanks to Michael for this next Kickstarter project, which is option 4, and the one I personally chose and backed. It is called the iLDOCK, one word. It allows you to charge and listen with 1/8 inch headphones at the same time that you have your lightning plug plugged in. This is something I need for my 7 Plus so that I can use my iRig Mic HD and the headphones at the same time. I hope at least. We'll test it out once they come. The project had a goal of 5K and has raised over 90K, so yeah, they are well past their goal. Congrats. This one you will have until Friday, October 28th at 9:38 a.m. Central Time to fund. The iLDOCK actually has 3 versions. One is the plain iLDOCK, and that is where it is an 1/8 inch headphone jack port and a lightning port, and that's $10. Then there is the iLDOCK Duo that has 2 lightning ports, one for listening with your new lightning headphones and one for charging. That is $12. And then there is the iLDOCK Plus, which has an 1/8 inch port, a lightning port, a USB port, a TF card port, and an SD card port. That one is $20. It also has some combo deals here. If you go with the iLDOCK and the iLDOCK Plus combined, they're $27, which is what I ordered. Like I said, I'm a backer of this one. I like on the iLDOCK Plus the USB as well. This really will cover me in most of my uses for podcasting. And for $38, you get all 3 versions. They are estimating delivery in December for these. Note, if you're in the US, which they are not, then there'll be an additional fee for shipping, which was $4 for me, so really it's $31. Then I'm getting both the iLDOCK and the iLDOCK Plus. Considering that Apple's USB Lightning camera connection kit set me back $39 just for it, that $31 is a really good price for 2 different dongles and one with way more options than Apple's $39 offering. Search iLDOCK, one word, at Kickstarter.com or look for the link in the show notes for episode 409 at todayinios.com. Into the email bag. Hi, Rob. Today was the Google Pixel phone announcement. And of course, there has to be the iPhone killer verbiage from Bloomberg. Lots of laughs. You may want to save this one for a future How Wrong Were They segment. Regards, Darius W. And Darius, I love the title of this. The Pixel, Google's first real threat to Apple's iPhone. Well, first real threat since the last first real threat, which was the first since the previous first real threat, and so on. Each time a new Nexus phone was released, someone said it was Google's first real threat against the iPhone. Some will say, well, this is the first one Google designed. The others were designed by third parties, unless, of course, you count the Nexus 6, which was designed by Motorola Mobility, which was 100% owned by Google for 2.5 years prior to the Nexus 6 announcement, so you really can't say that one wasn't designed by Google. Anyway, it's all semantics. Google approved the other phones, and in the case of the Nexus 6, designed it. And the key on all these Nexus series, as with the Pixel, is that they can be updated on software right away. But it is really the 9th and 10th first real iPhone killer from Google, or put another way, yawn. And now some in the Google Plus community that we have for the show have some different thoughts on this, but me, I don't see the Pixel being any different as far as impact on the iPhone than any of the previous Nexuses, which was negligible at best. Really, the Pixel will impact other Android phone OEMs a lot more than it will Apple and the iPhone. The big feature was Google offering cloud storage for Pixel owners for uploading their photos and videos uncompressed. I can say this already. I have 1 terabyte of free cloud storage with Google as I signed up for Google Fiber this summer. And yawn, not exciting, been there, done that, and yes, yawn. We will see if this impacts the iPhone, but again, as in the past, this seems to be a lot to do about nothing, just like every other Google phone that has come before it.
Hello, Rob. This is Justin from Pennsylvania. I'm calling about, a little response to Google now making their own hardware and not just like Nexus devices. And I just think it's really interesting because they have always been on the opposite end on what Apple goes privacy first, while Google they're an advertising company, so they want all the data and then they sell your data and use it as a way to give you great services that, all of us use even on the iOS side. And I just think it's going to be really interesting now that Google has sort of taken a trick from Apple and is going to start making their own hardware. And who knows, maybe eventually their own silicon like Apple does. I don't know. I just think this is really interesting. I don't really know what's going to happen with it. These phones need to get out of people's hands. Now with Samsung having another problem with one of their Ricoh phones catching on fire, I don't know, it just makes this whole phone market really interesting. And I don't know, I'm excited to see what we have here when this all happens, because I think competition's good. I think Apple responds really well to competition. And honestly, I think Samsung for a lot of ways has been really poor competition in the sense, that they're using someone else's software. They have to put bigger batteries, bigger processors just to not even get to the point where Apple is with theirs. Even when you look at the specs, Apple's are far lower. So I don't know, just some thoughts. I think this is going to be really interesting in the next year or two when Google gets their feet actually going with this. And honestly, I think it's the first, it's just the first step for Google of actually making their own stuff and not relying on someone else to do it. All right, guys, I love the show, and I just can't wait to hear what other people think about this. And I love the show, Rob, and have a great day. Bye.
Justin, thanks for your feedback. There seems to be a lot of people excited about this. Again, to me, this isn't really the first time they designed one. They definitely designed the Nexus 6. I don't care how you spin it. They had owned Motorola Mobility for 2 years, and that was the people who actually knew how to design phones. So that was a Google phone through and through, 100%. This is not the first. Now, per the other Nexus phones, I still say, hey, Google approved the specs. They definitely had influence on the manufacturers. So you can't just write them off and say, oh, well, they didn't design it. They worked with those teams. They got the specs approved. They had a lot of influence in those Nexus designs. And the big difference, again, between the Nexus and the Pixel and all the other Android phones out there. So if you take the Nexus and the Pixels and compare it to the other Android phones, the biggest difference is that they can get software updates right away. And they are Google phones. And to me, the Pixel is just a rebranding of Nexus. Yeah, this one happens to be designed by Google engineers. That's not going to necessarily make it any better. It could make it worse. Depends on where they stole the engineers from. To the email bag. Hey, Rob, tell Siri, Bueller. Regards, Ian. Bueller.
In his honor, I can cancel all your appointments today if you ask.
Bueller.
I think I saw him in a red sports car. No, wait, singing on a float. Oh, over there, jumping over a bush. He's around here somewhere.
Bueller.
Bueller, Bueller, Bueller.
Bueller.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around, poops.
Thanks again to Boll & Branch for sponsoring this episode. Folks, go right now to bollandbranch.com and use promo code TII to save $50 off the nicest sheets and cotton products you've ever owned with free shipping to boot. And before we go today, I want to remind you to send your feedback to the show, 206-666-6364. That's 206-Moondog. Or record your feedback and email to me at todayinios@gmail.com. The feedback can be a question or comment per something someone said on this episode, or it can be a question or rant you have about something else. An app, a product review, good or bad, as long as it's iOS related, it is welcomed. I'm always looking for new artwork to feature that you've created on an iOS device. Just put some TII branding on it and send it in. And of course, we're always looking for more music created on an iOS device to play on the show. It's your show, and your feedback is greatly appreciated. That said, I am trying hard to get as much feedback into the show, and the next couple of episodes will be even more listener feedback oriented. So I spent a lot of time the last week trying to filter and organize what's already come in. If yours didn't make it on this episode, look for it on the next couple of episodes. Also, don't forget to check out our moderated Google Plus community by going to todayinios.com/community. Thanks again to Harry's for sponsoring this episode. Folks, please go to harrys.com/TII right now and enter coupon code TII at checkout to claim your free trial set and free post-shave balm. That's harrys.com/TII and then enter coupon code TII. Finally, check out the newly updated TII app, which is free to you. We now have the Apple Watch app included. Search for TII in the iTunes App Store. It is the best way to consume the show and to get push notifications each time a new episode of TII is released. Make sure you have push notifications turned on. It is fully voiceover friendly, of course. Go right now, download the TII app. Next episode will be out hopefully late Wednesday, early Thursday, as there might be some breaking news on Wednesday. I'll leave it at that. And per this episode, that, folks, is almost going to do it for us today. I say almost as there is some additional listener feedback after the music, so please stick around for that. But that is it for me on this episode. Until the next time, I'm your host, Rob, reminding you to bone different. This show is hosted on Libsyn.com and part of the Wizard Media Network. If you are looking for hosting, go to Libsyn.com, that's Libsyn.com, for hosting for your podcast and for creation of your own smartphone app. The Today in iOS podcast can also be found on the free Stitcher radio app. Just search for TII.
Hey, Rob, and all the TII listeners. This is my car in Texas. I don't like my voice, but I've got a lot to say this time, so I'm sending Rob a voice memo. Loving my new iPhone 7 and some things that I've discovered that I want to pass along. And you may have had this on the iPhone 6 and previous to iOS 10, but this is a big change for me. So anyway, here goes. On the notification center, where you swipe to the right and get your information, you can add into that dashboard the battery. And if you are using a Bluetooth with a battery meter, it will show both the battery meter level and the iPhone level. So it makes it a lot easier to see than that little bitty battery at the top of the phone. And iPhone, even though the iPhone 7 is the same size as the 6, the camera protrudes a little bit, and it's in a little bit different spot. So, not a big problem for a soft case. You can just trim it out or leave it. But with the hard case, you're going to have to be able to make that hole a little bigger, or something there. It could be a problem with the hard case. One thing I really like is the dynamic text. I find there's a lot of apps that take advantage of that dynamic text, so you can really make the print large if you like. It's just like you got a bigger phone. And I'm really loving that. That may have been available previously. I don't know. And in some of the apps where you have a hard time reaching the top of the screen without double clicking, and there may be a little arrow at the top to go back to the previous screen that's hard to reach, I have found that you can slide back to previous screens by putting your finger on the left edge and dragging it across. And once again, that may have been available before, but I really like that. On the notifications, you'll notice that at the top of the screen, there's a small little X to clear them all. But if you want to clear them individually or a little bit easier, you can swipe each one to the left, and there'll be a little icon there to clear them individually. Let's see. It was talked about coming soon, the Griffin iClip. I have found that there are already some of those out there under other names, and I have one that I'm going to be checking out this weekend. And mainly I'm wondering about the volume level. Volume level is the problem with Bluetooth and some podcasts. There's usually not a problem with music and volume levels. But anyway, you can do a search under iClip or Griffin iClip or even Griffin iTrip, and you'll find these other offerings. I don't know, I suspect Griffin is going to have them rebranded with their name on there. Maybe they're going to come up with their own, but I doubt it. I found one as cheap as $7 and one for $13. And I have the $7 one already and the $13 one on the way. And let's see, I mentioned the camera and the case. So I'll review a couple of cases on a separate memo. All the best from Texas.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and this is the Today in iOS podcast. First up, I want to thank Doug for sending in the music here in the background. Doug wrote, oh, it's not Doug. Jim Balsillie, the very former I was previously using a different isolator, but as I found out, if the two devices don't play nice, blah, blah, blah. Per Mike's comments about the last line or end of the article, quote, Green's Note 7 is in the hands of the Louisville Fire Department arson unit. Get $50 off your first set. Almost lost my clean rating.